People often cite the definition of music as organized sound, a coin turned by the French composer Edgar Varese? I don't know, that's a ridiculous language. But that definition, though bare and a bit pretentious, does make enough sense when you try and make your own definition of music. Because, like, what is this? You know, like, why do I, when I hear a good 4/4 beat, I just start kind of, you know, get down with it. And this isn't a new phenomenon. Even back in prehistoric times, Grug and Ugg would bring their, rock and flute to the town circle and everyone would get their boogie on. And the trend never stopped. Today on Spotify, 120,000 songs are uploaded every day. And honestly, that's a lot to sift through. I don't think we need that much music. I mean, have you heard the yuppies are winning? It's over. We made the best music. But in order to find what you're looking for, organizing all that organized sound is crucial to our ability to enjoy it. Instead of having to dig through thousands of painfully sincere poets describing their situationships with an acoustic guitar, we just call that category singer-songwriter and know immediately to dismiss it. Genres helps us put art into tiny little boxes and makes it way easier to consume. But can the parameters of art be arbitrary, restrictive, and detrimental to the art form itself? Perhaps. But I'm gonna ignore that question and just make fun of I'm gonna make fun of all kinds of music because I'm too stupid for that first question. But this next part makes me feel good about myself. So today I have picked my favorite category, well, not my favorite, my least favorite categories of music, or at the very least the easiest ones to make fun of. And then I'm gonna make fun of the people who listen to that music, and it's gonna be a big. People are gonna get really mad because have you made fun of Tyler the Creator online before? People come at you. I've gotten death threats for that. All right, to begin, let's start with something timid. Let's go with jazz. You know, jazz, the ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. You know, play the notes that aren't there. La La Land, I think that movie was about it. So the weird thing about jazz is that it used to be edgy, which is weird to think about. It truly was like the punk rock of its day. And the people who made it were all cool as f. They were the epitome of f***able. Like the pianist Thelonious Monk, which is the hardest name I've ever heard. He famously is quoted as saying, "You've got to dig it to dig it. You dig?" Me. I will never be that cool in my life. But like any great black art form, white people showed up and said, "Man, I really appreciate what you've been doing for these last 100 years. Do you mind if I take it from here? Do you mind if I just show up at the end?" It's like showing up to the end of a chess game and then being like, I'm on his team. It's like picking the winning team. Now jazz is in the realm of a dude named Trav, who wears silly little hats and has to explain to you why the song he's listening to is actually good. You know, the hallmark of a good song, when you have to explain it. Jazz is no longer music for the people, it's music for the overeducated. Any genre of music that requires a degree to enjoy is absolute bullshit in my mind. It used to be something that was both rebellious and fresh, and now I don't know, dude. I don't know. Like modal jazz, modulating musical modes so they accompany the chords instead of relying on tonal centers. You. Andre 3000 couldn't even save jazz, and he is Andre 3000. That man can do anything, so take it with a grain of salt. All right, let's try and move as far away aesthetically from jazz as we possibly can. Ska music, the miscarriage of modern art forms. Did you grow up playing Tony Hawk Pro Skater? Then you are familiar with the form of ska music. It began as the revolutionary soundtrack of Jamaica after its independence from Britain in the 1960s. Oh, I'm sorry, is that black people making music again? Go ahead and give me that. Today, ska has the sound of a marching band collectively slipping on a gigantic banana peel. Ska bands also have some of the most atrocious physical, clothing style I've ever seen in my life. They have the vibe of a kid who's like, "F you, I'm gonna wear what I want," but it secretly really cares that you like what he's wearing. And ska itself is in a weird place for how the music is supposed to make you feel. It gives you a very specific mental box to live in. Ska doesn't make you angry, doesn't make you sad. It's not like sexy. Like imagine trying to get laid while Goldfinger is playing. It's physically impossible. It just makes you feel like, I don't even know, like you just graduated from middle school and now your mom trusts you to be able to ride your skateboard to the 7-Eleven alone. That's the exact feel ska gives you. Ska is audible birth control. It is musical castration. Ska is locked into one vibe, which is checkered board vans with mustard stains. Once again, that's a Jimmy exclusive. Jimmy, you're f***ing killing it. And also, I do want to say, I really with ska. I like ska music. I'm not kidding. After everything I just said, I still put on a ska playlist and listen to the Mighty Mighty Boss Stones every once in a while because I want to feel like a kid again. It gives you like hope that you're in a coming-of-age 2000s movie. All right, let's move down the line. Metal. Okay, all right. This is where you guys are gonna start getting angry at me. Metal fans are, how do I put this without someone beating the shit out of me? So metal fans want to act like they don't care at all, right? Like the ska guys, they act like they just crawled out of a trash can and they're covered in bats. But then they turn around and treat metal subgenres like a sommelier tasting fine wine. They take it very seriously, and you can't do both, guys. You can't do both of those things. If you mislabel a type of metal subgenre on the internet, they will tear you apart in the comments and then tear each other apart in the comments, and then everyone's dead. That's the vibe. Thankfully, most metal subgenres have clues in their names to help you differentiate differentiate them so it's a little bit easier. Like thrash metal, speed metal, heavy metal, black metal, death metal. And then it gets deeper, like there's pagan, pirate, doom, and Viking metal. If you ever want to get a metalhead talking, just ask them what the difference between metal and hard is. And if they don't immediately dismiss you, they're gonna talk for 40 minutes. They'll give you a whole dissertation about the arbitrarily assigned adjectives that they give to these things. And the barely distinguishable characteristics are baked into the ethos of metalheads. Honestly, it's my firm belief that metalheads don't want you to like metal. Why would they want the normies to come in and harsh the vibe of an already very harsh vibe? And that's why they have insane band names such as Nuclear Vomit, Brutal Sphincter, and Sexcrement. All real names that I'm sure a 7th grader would get a real kick out of. And you might not ever even figure out what the band's name is because all their logos look like Spider-Man just shot a load on the wall. Take a look at this. What does this say? Seriously, really try and figure out what this says. Did you guess facelift deformation? Because that's what this says. I challenge you to find the letter C. And also it has to be said that the people who listen to metal have to do some mental gymnastics to separate the art from the artist. There's some pretty chill metal bands out there, but there's some really super not chill metal bands out there too. Because metal is all about being like, you know, hardcore and evil, and that just power creeps up to the point then you get Norwegian black metal where like the bands are all Nazis, like church burning Nazis. So best of luck to you guys. You're insane. So up next is a category that's so big that I don't even think we can put it all into one category, but that is EDM. Hey, quick question. Do you like music, but you don't like instruments? Well, that's what I don't know how you would ever get to that point, but we have EDM for you. EDM is just an umbrella term for electronic dance music, and there are an ungodly amount of subgenres within it. Dubstep, house, techno, grime, jungle, whatever Kygo is up to. Then there's like breakcore, which I really enjoy. I like breakcore. It makes me feel like I'm catching apes on my PS1. But overall, this music is designed to do one thing and one thing only: dance. You're supposed to dance to this music. You can say that EDM often goes past that point, but at that point, it's no longer EDM because EDM has said the word dance in it, so that's no longer part of this conversation. It's just so shocking to me that like the band Daft Punk and Deadmau5 are in the same category. Like it's like saying like a minnow and a shark are both fish, which is technically correct, but I feel like we have to have more things to define these. All right, now that we're done with all the types of music that I secretly enjoy, let's move on to one that I will never understand, and that is jam bands. Jam music, that shit sucks, and I will not be dissuaded in the comments. I don't care what you guys say. Jam bands suck. Jam bands aren't just confined to one sound. They incorporate lots of sounds, like slapping hacky sacks, bubbling bong water, and corduroy pants rubbing together. And also, it's a big part of being a band jam fan that if you listen to the studio recordings of their songs, you're basically a fucking narc. True fans listen to decades-spanning live recordings of the same songs and freak out over the tiny differences. The godfather of all band jams, the Grateful Dead, have released over 167 live albums. And oh my god, dude, I do not get it. I do not even get what I'm supposed to be enjoying with these things. Even a Grateful Dead fan will tell you it's not about the music. It's mostly about the shit you do at the concert, aka hallucinogenics. It's about being fucking high as shit with a bunch of other people who are high as shit. I used to think the 1960s were cool. I really did. And then I made a few videos about the era and went to a jam band show and realized that hippies have always and still do suck big wang. But you know who wouldn't stand for this type of corrupt American bullshit? The punks. Let's talk about punk music real quick. We're talking ripped jeans. We're talking gelled up hair. We're talking abusing drugs that have never been cool culturally. We're talking about selling out more than you don't. That's what punk music is all about. I mean, now that I'm thinking about it, the Sex Pistols were basically a boy band. The idea that punk is innately political is revisionist history, really. If anything, punk was simply reactionary. It was a nihilistic middle finger to the stagnant culture and the neoliberalism of the aging hippies. Sure, you had The Clash, who was extremely political, but besides them, like everyone else was doing a different thing. Mostly the punk bands from the original era just wanted to do heroin. And I'm not, you know, heroin's great on paper, it's great. Once the 80s rolled around, the hardcore punk scene did start injecting politics into its music, but by the time 90s hit, punk was primarily dudes in really long shorts making dick jokes. And this brings the era of pop punk with bands like Blink-182 and Limp Bizkit. Limp Bizkit was rap rock. But pop punk brought on the era of emo punk, which was more like Fall Out Boy and I guess Panic at the Disco, which slowly morphed into today's version of emo Midwest music, which is how we got mom jeans. So punk music is very complicated, and I don't have time to go into it, but the fans, you know the fans. I don't have to talk about the fans. They all suck. It's me. They suck. But even if punk rock has a well-meaning, if slightly inflated sense of self, indie music is the most arbitrary gatekeeping genre of all. God, indie music. It has there's no unifying thing of what it is, really. There's no continuous sound or ideology. It's just a group of mediocre white people putting in the bare minimum and trauma dumping in front of the mic. Shout out Alvin Flames. Everyone go listen to Alvin Flames' album. Originally, indie was music that was independent. These bands that recorded for small labels and booked their own tours. But today, many many of the bands that are called indie are not on independent record labels at all. Cage the Elephant, the fucking star child of the indie movement, was fucking, it's on the same thing as Justin Timberlake, the same record company. Indie could be electronic or psychedelic, or it could be some bullshit take on Mongolian throat singing. It could be fucking anything. Vampire Weekend, Wet Leg, Boy Genius, Alex G. This is musical mediocrity at its finest. I don't know. I feel bad though, because Alex G, I really like Alex G. I get why people don't like it, because he doesn't know how to sing, and also, but his guitar playing, you guys should look up Be Kind by Alex G. He recorded it in his high school stairwell, and he never re-released it. I sound like such a pretentious douchebag. But hey, at least white people didn't steal this fucking genre. Oh shit, wait. Vampire Weekend's whole career was built on top of the foundations of Afro-pop. God damn it, we stole it all. Speaking of not being nice to black people, country music is next on the list. That was not a really great transition. It wasn't nice, but you know, the vibe is there. Pretty much just pop music with a fucking slide guitar thrown in there every once in a while. Fuck, I mean, if you listen to that song, Baby You're I don't wanna roll my window down and cruise. Country music got so popular in the 90s that its biggest star, Garth Brooks, played to 1 million people in Central Park. And people say that era of country music sucked. So where the fuck are we at now? The aesthetics of country music has slipped and slid way further down the rabbit hole. I mean, there was post 9/11 country music that was all about being a patriot, and if you weren't a patriot, you get the fuck out, which is why the Dixie Chicks got blacklisted for saying they didn't believe in the war in Iraq, which now we all believe, but at the time that was blasphemy. And the newest crop of country music artists like Teddy Swims and Jelly Roll are so confusing. I just don't know what's going on there anymore. But it just goes to show that country music has always been more about a vibe than the music itself. And that vibe was usually a spit cup full of racism, because, you know, in recent history, you have artists like Lil Nas X and Beyonce who tried to diversify the country music, but they got told their music wasn't country enough, so they couldn't get awards for it. And why do you think their music wasn't country enough? Take a gander. Find out. Who would want to hear such riveting lyrics as, the way she fit in them blue jeans, she don't need no belt, but I can turn them inside out, I don't need no help. Go fuck yourself. This shit is terrible. And then we have rap, which obviously I'm not qualified to talk about. I mean, I really like it. I don't have a problem with rap. I genuinely listen to rap almost every single day. However, I will say that hip-hop fans need to fucking relax. You guys are ravenous and obnoxious. First of all, I would say country and hip-hop fans are the only two groups of people that won't listen to any other kind of music at all. They only listen to rap or they only listen to country. They won't fucking diversify their brain portfolio of different tunes. And the unbelievable dick-sucking of artists in this genre, the ball draining that these guys do is rivals K-pop fans. Oh, I forgot to write about K-pop fans. But like the Kendrick fans think he's such a genius that they'll take one of his lyrics from one of his bars and find 20 different meanings in it, and they'll attribute it to his genius, even though no fucking way he was thinking that hard about that one bar. And you guys just, it's mental illness. That's not what he's trying to do. And then like the XXXTentacion fans, however you say his name, think he was a fucking god. Like they worship him more than anyone else on this earth, even though he was an extremely bad person, like a really bad kid. And also he was a front runner in a genre of rap music, like the emo rap music, that is completely dead now. Like I don't think anyone, I mean, you got the Suicide Boys, but like it's over. I would say that it's over. I'm gonna get in hot shit. I worship him as weird. And then you have the old heads arguing with the new heads, and you got the white kids saying Eminem's the best of all time and everyone else is trash, and Eminem was good, but it's so, you guys shut the fuck up. Everyone needs to shut the fuck up. The two best rappers of all time are Mac Miller and Lil Wayne, and there is no other answer to that question. You kids don't know about Lil Wayne. Go look up Lil Wayne and listen to his best music. He doesn't write anything down, he just spits, and every bar is fire. Let me know how pissed I made you, or what kind of music you think I missed that actually sucks and that I didn't talk about. New videos every Wednesday and Saturday. Shout out my new gaming channel, Big Tug Gaming, and also thank you for the Extra Tuglets for supporting the channel over at extratug.com. Head over to extratug.com to see videos that I can't post here, as well as just a bunch of other goodies that you can get. Like you can vote on the video topics that I talk about later down the line, and I don't know, you get some other, just go look, you'll see it. Also, shout out Chris Duffy for editing this, put a picture up of yourself. I feel like you deserve more credit, bro. You've been killing it. And shout out Jimmy Pitts for helping me write scripts recently. I really appreciate what he's been doing. Put up a picture of Jimmy, unless he doesn't want me to, and then never mind, but could be good to build his resume. Anyway, thank you guys so much.